Hello, and welcome to New York's historic Grand Central Terminal. Today I'll be taking a ride on Metro North up to Botanical Gardens. Grand Central Terminal is one of two major stations serving New York City, the second of which is Penn Station. Grand Central serves Metro North's Harlem, Hudson, and New Haven lines, the 4, 5, 6, and 7 subway lines, and the 42nd Street Shuttle. Walking in, the station is ornate and, as the name implies, very grand. The foyer to the main hall could be mistaken for a station hall of its own if put anywhere else in the United States. Entering the main hall of Grand Central, the first thing everyone does is tilt their head back and look up to appreciate the incredible architecture, built using imitation cane stone, Tennessee marble, and Botticelli marble. Strung down from the skylights are massive chandeliers that illuminate the immense main concourse, but the real talking piece is the ceiling. The vaulted ceiling is painted with the 12 zodiac constellations, finished in gold leaf. The original mural was actually painted backwards when the station was first built, with west being east and east being west, but the issue has since been corrected, although Orion still faces backwards. I would love to stay here all day and admire the beauty of it all, but I do have a train to catch, or so I thought, so I moved on to the ticket machines, located just beyond the concourse. Metro North offers peak and off-peak tickets, with peak times including trains that arrive at New York terminals between 6 and 10 a.m. or leave between 4 and 8 p.m. I was leaving around 4:30 p.m., so I bought a peak ticket, which cost me $9.75. I found this out later, but Metro North and the Long Island Railroad are not using peak and off-peak fares at this time due to the pandemic. This information was not posted anywhere in the terminal, which was rather annoying. My train this afternoon is departing out of track 25 on the main level. Grand Central has a total of 46 tracks for passenger service across 2 levels. The numbering is a little weird though, as tracks 11 through 42 are on the main level, with tracks 101 through 117 on the lower level. Grand Central uses the 100 prefix to denote lower level tracks. The glitz and glamour of Grand Central ends the second you exit the main concourse to the tracks. There is no AC anywhere around the platforms, and it is incredibly loud, with the whir of train AC units and the occasional diesel engine coursing through the air. My train today is Harlem Line Train 345, with a scheduled departure time of 3:57 p.m. Taking a step on board, I am immediately greeted with a cool blast of AC, which is incredibly welcome in the context of Grand Central's unbearably hot platforms. The interior of Metro North trains is fairly standard, with a 2x3 seating arrangement. There is, however, no separation between seats, as they look more like benches than individual seats, so be prepared to claim your space if need be. I took a seat next to the window and got set up to begin the journey, but after waiting for a few minutes, an announcement was made that all trains on the Harlem and Hudson lines were being held due to flooding on the tracks. Now, there had been torrential rainfall in the area, and there was terrible flooding everywhere. The sheer amount of water coming down was well more than the city was equipped to deal with, and thus everything under and above ground flooded. It was raining at subway stations across the city, with water pouring out from ceilings at an unbelievable rate. I had hoped that Metro North would be spared from this mess, but clearly the weather had other plans, and with no signs of letting up, I decided that today was not to be the day, and that I would try again tomorrow. As I left the terminal and entered the subway station, I saw firsthand the effects of this rainfall. Water was pouring down from the ceiling, and the massive tub that had been put there to catch this water was overflowing. It was comical how much water was where it shouldn't be, and that was hardly the worst scene across the city. Bright and early the following day, and I'm back at Grand Central to try what I failed to do yesterday. The weather had subsided in the evening prior, leaving only a light sprinkle in place of the ridiculous sheets of water, so hopefully everything would be running on time. Looking at the departure board, I saw my train was departing from track 107 on the lower concourse, so I headed downstairs. The ramps down to the lower level, or dining concourse, are just below the main entrance on 42nd Street, just beyond Vanderbilt Hall. It will never cease to amaze me just how beautiful this station is. Like, this is literally just a ramp to get from one level to the other, and it looks and feels like a royal entryway into a castle. The dining concourse houses, as the name implies, multiple restaurants and smaller cafes to grab a bite to eat while waiting for your train. Unfortunately, a lot of things were still closed, either due to my early departure time or due to the pandemic. A small cafe was open in one of the corners of the concourse, so I was able to get a cup of coffee and some breakfast before heading to my train. My train today is a set of Bombardier M7 EMUs. I boarded about 10 minutes before departure, so I had plenty of time to get settled in my seat. Seating on Metro North is divided into a 2x3 arrangement, with the majority of seats in single rows. However, there are a couple spots where 2 rows face each other, so larger groups can sit together. I chose a seat on the 3 side of the aisle in one of the larger groups of 6, so I would have plenty of space to stretch out. The seats on Metro North are fairly comfortable, with plenty of cushioning, although there really isn't enough room for 2 people to sit across from one another. There is an armrest built into the wall by the window, but there aren't any between the seats. And speaking of between the seats, there isn't any division between said seats, with each row being more of a bench than a set of individual chairs. There are luggage racks above the seats on either side to store larger personal belongings. Now, as far as sitting in the individual rows, it feels like a fairly standard commuter seat, with about 4 inches in front of my knees. There's a grab handle in the row in front to allow for easy entrance and egress, but it once again still lacks the separation between the seats. Overall, the interior is nice, but I would have appreciated more definition between each seat. As we waited for our departure time, a New Haven line Kawasaki M8 departed out of the track next to us. I'll be taking a ride on Metro North's New Haven line up to Stamford in a couple weeks, so hit that subscribe button so you're around when that video goes live. As the clock hit 8:16, we started to move and began the quick hop up to Botanical Gardens. As we exit the tunnels of Grand Central Terminal, why don't we take a quick look at some stats about our train? My train this morning is Metro North Harlem Line Train 513, and is driven by 4 Bombardier M7 EMUs. Each M7 car is powered by 4 Mitsubishi Electric AC traction motors, producing 265 horsepower each for a total of 1,060 horsepower per car. M7s are rated for a top speed of 100 miles an hour, but operate at a top speed of 80 miles an hour. Within each set of M7s, there is an A car and a B car, with A cars designated with even numbers and Bs with odds. A cars have a capacity of 110 seated passengers, while B cars have a capacity of 101. B cars have an accessible bathroom, designed to accommodate people in wheelchairs or with service animals. This larger bathroom is the reason that B cars have fewer seats. As we're enjoying the ride, why don't you hit that subscribe button? It's totally free and it really helps support the channel. Oh, and hit that bell icon while you're down there so you never miss another video. Now it's time to take a look at the bathroom on board. Because I am seated in a B car, I don't have to go far to reach it. The bathroom is incredibly spacious, as you would expect it to be, although it's not particularly clean. The controls for the sink, soap, and dryer are awful to use. There are buttons on the underside of the mirror, which I couldn't see until I got my camera down lower. Everything worked, but I just would have appreciated a better button placement or more clear signage on how it works. Something else that I was informed of while walking around the train is that Metro North trains do not have trash cans on board, which is ridiculous. I don't understand how such a simple service was not included in these trains. Now, I know for a fact that M7s can have garbage cans on board, because the Long Island Railroad M7s do have trash cans in their bathrooms, so why Metro North actively did not include them is beyond me. If you have an answer to this, please let me know in the comments below. Taking a walk to the front of the train, it's possible to get a view of the tracks ahead. It's not a great shot, as there is distortion film over the cab door, but it's serviceable for those interested. I was able to get a better shot like this on my way back from Botanical Gardens on a Bud M3 car, so stick around if that's something you'd want to see. It's only been about 20 minutes since we left Grand Central Terminal and we're pulling into Botanical Gardens. Overall, the ride on Metro North was very pleasant. The interior was clean and comfortable, and the staff on board were friendly and helpful. I really would like to see Metro North add trash cans to their trains, as that seems like a very basic service that should be included in every commuter train. Now, some of you may be asking, why did you choose to go to Botanical Gardens? Did you actually want to see the gardens? And to that I reply, no. I just thought it would be a cool filming spot to catch the morning rush of trains. Turns out I was right, and the footage was excellent. Go check out my video of that action on my second channel. Link is in the top right or in the description below. And with that, this trip report comes to an end. Next week I'll be back on the other side of the United States, taking a ride on Metrolink from LA Union Station out to Tustin. If you want to be around when more videos get posted, please hit that subscribe button. It's totally free and it really helps support the channel and the content I make. I would love to keep doing this for as long as possible, and your support helps me continue to do so. But anyways, that's all I have for today. Thanks for riding with me, and I'll see you in the next one.